So we're in the lab and we had Sean send me some initial DMs. These are DMs that he sent to his new connections on LinkedIn in order to book calls with them. And they're the first series of messages that he sent. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to give some feedback. These are really important to nail and get right to set the proper tone for the conversation. If you do this, you should be getting a 30 to 35% reply rate and booking about 1 out of 8 to 1 out of 10 people that you DM on a qualified sales call. Message to Billy here. Hey, Billy, really dig the fact that you leverage experience in your work. Very underrated. Okay. What I would do here, get more specific in the compliment. I like the fact, Sean, he didn't make this too enthusiastic, right? You don't want to be like, I love the fact that you've done this. It's amazing. But you do want to get more specific, right? Leverage experience. What does that even mean? It's too ambiguous. I also really like his tonality. It's really good. It's casual, but it maintains a high level of competence. Next, whereabouts are you based in the UK? It should say where he's at in the UK, maybe not, right? If it doesn't, that's potentially a valid question, but you want to ask him a question that pries pain points. Don't ask him a question based on geography, okay? In your initial series of DMs, 2 to 6 messages, when you're first reaching out, make the question here pain point related. Is it just you or do you have a team? How are you getting clients right now? I'm on your LinkedIn profile. Do you use LinkedIn to get clients? Something that starts the conversation in a business sense. And then you mentioned London here. If it says he's in London, there's no reason to ask him where he's from in the UK. You know that. If something's on his profile, you want to show him that you know that, not ask him a question about it. What you could say is, you're in London, right? If you really wanted to ask a question about where he's from. But if that's in his profile, don't just act like you don't know it. You could say, you're in London, right? That assumes that you know. You're just gaining clarity. Been to London a few times and love the city and people. Okay. Your last couple messages, you want to connect on a personal level and you want to find deep commonalities. So I've been to London. I was there in 2005, like a week before the famous like double-decker bus bombings. I would say that. I'd be like, last time I was in London was in 2005. And 2 weeks later, a couple buses exploded. It was crazy. So glad I missed it. Or so glad I was there, 2 weeks before that. And I wasn't there during the bombings. It must have been a crazy time, right? I'm paraphrasing. You can make that shorter. But nonetheless, you want to find a deep commonality. So London, I'm going to message the bus bombings for myself, right? I'm going to say I was there in 2005, the specific year, right? June 2005. If it was a specific date, right? The more specific you are, the better here. Maybe I'll talk about if I message someone from Lithuania, hey, you're in Lithuania, right? Aren't you guys like 6'1" on average? You're huge. Zydrunas Ilgauskas was one of my favorite basketball players growing up. And then the last thing he does here, first of all, you got to put the apostrophe here, I''M, so you look competent. Okay. You don't do that. You look more like you're not as competent. I'm not really sure where to go when I visit again. Do you have any? Make sure the English is good. Do you have any recommendations? What this does, this is an open-ended question. This makes the prospect really think, what should I recommend him? Restaurants, museums, parks. What does he like? Yoga class. He likes boxing. He likes the gym, right? Nature. You're making your prospect think too much, number one. Okay. You want to ask your prospects the opposite of open-ended questions, closed-ended questions. Ask them questions that they don't need to think. They already know the answer. They just give you an answer. It doesn't mean it can't be a longer type of answer, not one word, but ask them like a question that's easy for them to answer. They don't need to think. If a prospect reads this, now they sit there and they need to think, they're going to click off. They're not going to reply to you. So when you're sending DMs, you got to make sure to ask closed questions. Don't ask them open-ended questions where they have to actually think, okay? And what I want to do here is Sean did not give them a reason to reply here. You want to answer what's in it for me, at least a little bit. What I like to do in my initial series of DMs, I like to say, hey, I actually have some really close friends that are killing it in XYZ space, whatever space they're in the email marketing space. Or if I have a specific friend, let's say it's cold email. Actually, my good friend, Nick Abraham, I'd mention him, is killing it. He's doing over $250,000 a month with his cold email agency. I actually stayed at his house in Dallas back in November last year. Whenever you can mention someone specific, it's better. But what that does is that shows him, hey, this person is really good friends with someone who is successful in my niche. So now their character traits rub off on me. Now I know a lot about their niche. Now I'm highly competent and successful because my close friend is in their niche and highly competent and successful. That conveys some type of potential value that your prospect is going to get by replying to you and engaging with you. You could do that. You can make an authority building observation. If I was messaging someone in the cold email space, you're in cold email, right? It's actually funny how quick the cold email game has changed. 5 years ago, everyone was on Mailshake and it was about copy. Now it's about tech and everyone's using AI and on Clay. And that shows, hey, this person, he knows a lot about my niche. It conveys that the prospect is going to get some kind of value there. Next, hey, Andy, really dig the fact that you went. Also, if you can make it more concise, do it. You could say, dig the fact that you went raising funds for blood cancer. That's incredible. Use the apostrophe there. I would use a dash. I like using dashes. Also, it's a little too enthusiastic. Incredible. Really dig. I would just say dig. And whenever you can convey more emotion and go deeper, do it. You could say, that actually really resonates with me. My second cousin had blood cancer and he beat it and da-da-da, right? I'm getting very emotional. I'm getting very deep. He does that here, I could see, right? The more you open up, the more you give them permission to open up, the more they see it's not just about a sale for you. Saw you've been doing AV and networking. Do you do more residential or commercial installs? Saw you've been X, saw your profile, noticed your profile, noticed you've been X. It's very formulaic and contrived. A lot of people get outreach like this. You want your outreach to look genuine and authentic and not like outreach. The moment it looks like outreach is the moment your conversation's dead. So I would ask him, you do AV and networking, right? If that makes sense there, right? Obviously you can't click on the prospect here. Do you do more residential or commercial installs? That's fine. And that conveys, some type of knowledge about his niche. And then always just capitalize the first letter of a sentence. Oh, by the way, London is so great. Been there once and definitely want to go back. I would say definitely don't use too much slang there. BTW is fine if you're messaging someone like under 40, under 50. And then the same thing here. Got any recommendations for me to see? Just connect deeply here. Just have one question, prying pain points, and you're good to go. Next, hey Janine, really did the concept behind Swiped Unlimited. Whenever there's a company name with multiple words in the name, like let's say you're messaging me, you're talking about LinkedIn Client Lab, I would say LCL. I would abbreviate it, right? Capital LCL. What that does is that conveys you being casual and informal, which is always good. And also when people automate DMs, they just use the full company name. If you say LCL, it shows that you actually know about them a little bit, right? If you use the abbreviation, it's really good. Don't ever capitalize an improper noun like marketing, right? Saw you did the same thing here with the phrasing. Is that something you're also doing for SU? Make these questions a little bit more specific. You could rephrase their offer like this, right? You do marketing and lead gen camps for Airbond, right? Is that also something you're doing for SU? So he did abbreviate it here. This is good. I would get more specific here. Dig the concept. That's fine as well. But you have a chance to get more specific here. You have a chance to really, really build authority and answer what's in it for me. If I'm a prospect, I'm reading this. What am I going to gain from this conversation? Okay, you reached out to me. It's personalized. Okay, give me a compliment. Okay, cool. Gaining clarity. Okay, New Jersey. What am I going to get from this? Answer that question even a little bit through an authority building observation or that sentence that we spoke about. Oh, I have a couple close friends, whatever, that are killing it. Convey them as relevant to your prospect in their space and successful in their space. And the more specific you can get while doing that, quoting specific revenue numbers, mentioning specific friends, the better. Love going to amusement parks, so that one's definitely on my list. Six Flags New Jersey is fine, but the more specific you get, the better here, right? You could talk about the New Jersey Nets, how they moved to Brooklyn. You could talk about the culture, the New Jersey attitude, right? The go-getter attitude. Jersey Shore. The more specific you can get here when you're finding these commonalities, the more you can pull from your emotions, from your experiences, from your beliefs, the more trust you build with the prospect. The more you open up, the more they open up. If you guys want to get one-on-one feedback like this and really go out and sign clients on LinkedIn, you've got to join the lab. There's over 9 hours of masterclasses. These main masterclasses, how to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator, how to set up Dripify, how to create an amazing profile, the 5 levels of prospect warmth, voice messages. And then there's over 37 DM strategies in here. You get direct feedback from me. You get a profile audit from me. I go through your profile for 5 to 10 minutes and give you direct feedback. I do this for every single person that joins. I've done like over probably 100, 200 by now. It's an amazing place. We have a weekly call. Every single week, there's a call. You get access to the Tuesday training vault. All of our calls in the last 30 days. You can see our schedule for calls here that are upcoming. We have an hour-long call every week. You click this, you get the recording to every single call. It explains what it's about. There's no better place to go out and sign clients on LinkedIn than the lab. Go to linkedInclientlab.com and I'll see you guys inside.